What's up, CFO gang? It's your boy Jay Tuck. Real Cowboys fans, stand up, and we are back. I know the camp clips was cool and it kind of kept us going throughout the course of the summer, but it is now time to get back in the lab. And we have a lot of new subscribers and a lot of new viewers. Let me be the first to say welcome, but let me headline with this. If you come to this channel just looking for highlights and all the positives and some NBA young boy in the background to kind of keep you excited, this is not the film session for this. On this channel, we come here, we look at every minor detail. We want to study and learn because that is where you grow. And also, the answers are in the details. So get your pens, get your notepads as we break down these players on this channel. And very first up, we have to talk about Phil Mafah for all the Mafa maniacs out there. Now, I did the film breakdown on Phil Mafah out of Clemson, so I'll post that in the comments below. Definitely check that out. But Phil Mafah had a great showing in the Week 1 preseason game versus the Rams, and I saw a lot of great qualities that I feel like he can stack off of that can really maybe turn him to a decent NFL player, if not an answer for the Dallas Cowboys at the running back position. So let's go ahead and get into the film. Now, the very first thing that you'll see when it comes to Phil Mafah on this play right here is I like the way Phil is reading hats, right? I'm liking the vision, but I'm also liking the burst. I'm liking the burst from Phil Mafah, and that's something that really didn't show a lot in the Clemson film. And I know that he mentioned that he had the injury last year, so that could have led into it. He said he's playing a little bit more free. But on this play right here, the quality of reading hats, right? And he's not gearing down. So you'll see on this play right here, you have the pull, right? So what do I mean by reading hats? Okay, so where's the defender? Now, technically Hoffman's hat could probably be on the other side, right? But it's like, okay, boom, I have Hoffman here, good block there. I have Sadiq Charles, right? Good block right there. So I'm not going to cut left, right? I'm going to go off Sadiq's cheeks. Pause if you want to. I have this crease right here. Boom. Cutting through, jump cut. All right, so now I'm reading where Johnny is. Now I possibly could have cut back, but he's not there yet. So another just jump cut right here, making the tackler miss. Boom. And then almost getting into the end zone, right? Low pad level, low center of gravity. I think this was called back though with the penalty. So, but overall, we're just focusing on Phil Mafah. Let's watch it in full speed. Boom, recognize, cut, right? Right, that's what I like from Phil Mafah, and I'm seeing fluid, like he's fluid in his hips right now, right? So let's watch him, right? Watch the feet. We always say study from the ground up, so watch the feet. Boom. Is there any wasted movement? Nope, not right there. Jump cut, right? Jump, stiffy, little Heisman stiffy, right there. Cut, and an extra jump, extra lean to almost get in the end zone, right? So overall, hell of a run from Phil Mafah there. Boom, boom, boom. All right. Next play here, like I said, the one thing that's really standing out is I'm seeing him be a lot more fluid and wiggle, which I mean agility, sideline to sideline, right? I know a lot of people want to view him or call him as just like a downhill runner, but he showcased just, it was a preseason game, right? He showcased the ability to do a little bit more than that. Okay, so boom, like that little jump cut right there. And the thing that I love the most about Phil Mafah, he's always falling forward, right? Running through contact. You can make a lot of money in the NFL just being able to fall forward. Now, I know a lot of people hate when we mention his name for some whatever odd reason, right? But that's the one thing we can say about Ezekiel Elliott, whether young Zeke or old Zeke, Zeke was always falling forward, and those extra 1 to 2 yards definitely adds up to the course of an NFL game. Sometimes you might, it's a game of inches. So boom, right? Running through contact, low pad level, falling forward. Good run from Phil Mafah right there. Like that effort. All right. On this play right here, the one thing that really stands out, we'll get to the offensive line here this week, but good ass blocking. Boom. All right. Charles is there, right? You got Bass, Hoffman. Good job from Hoffman at center, right? Chipping that defensive tackle, getting up to this linebacker. Boom. All right, this is a lot of green, right? A lot of green. And Phil Mafah runs forward and gets the extra yards with the extra little jump, little hop, right? Now, I will say this about Phil, and this is not really a knock on Phil because it's not who Phil is, right? It's just not who he is. It's not who he'll ever be. But I will say this. If this is Jaden Blue, look at all this green. All this green, you have this, 34 is way out here, damn near out the picture. If this is Jaden Blue, this is probably hit your head on the goalpost, right? It's not Phil Mafah's game, but I just feel like, hey, this is overall a good run. Hella blocking up front. Good blocking up front. Sealed, right? If you probably get this like a Jaden Blue, he's probably going to go to the crib, right? But that's just not Phil. He has to gear up a little bit, right? But even with that, still leading forward for a good game, I think it's like 7 or 8 yards. So overall, good run from Phil Mafah, but good blocking for the Dallas Cowboys offensive line. Fair weather over there too. Everybody blocking up, right? This is a hell of a play from the offensive line. You know what I'm saying? Salute to my dog Lou Takes. I know this probably gets Lou excited. Bagged, double team, up front, get off of it. Bagged, Sadiq, bagged, not sure who this is. Bagged, fair weather over here. Bagged, like hella good blocking for the offensive line. You can see that a lot more, right? Let's see a whole lot more of that. All right. Now we got Phil lined up in the eye, right? Once again, good blocking up front. Hella good blocking up front. Okay, offensive line, I see y'all boys. This is why I said I wasn't going to judge the offensive line until I got the end zone view, right? Because, you're watching the game at Buffalo Wild Wings and shit. You're not going to see all this, right? But overall, good blocking up front, right? Good little combo up front with Bass and Hoffman getting off to it. And now it's just really picking the hole, right? He probably could have cut out this way. But, overall, this defender makes a play on him. But still, like I said, the main traits about Phil Mafah is just leaning forward and getting those extra yards. Good low pad level, good powerful run from Phil Mafah. He's strong as an ox. Strong as an ox, right? All right. Now, I know a lot of Cowboys fans, the magical question, can he pass, bro? Can he pass, bro? All right, well, let's watch him in pass, pro. All right, boom. Have this blitzing linebacker, a little chippy, right, with the shoulder, but it's enough, right? He's a little lungy, but here's the thing, right? And, I played linebacker, so the one thing you always want to do, or you don't want to do if you're playing linebacker is, running back, you just want to make someone take the long way home. And what do I mean by that? If Phil was to lunge and let this linebacker come on a straight shot to Milton, that's a no-go, right? So if anything's going to happen, you want this linebacker to have to run out here, just wash him out the photo, right? And that should give Milton more than enough time to throw. The dot for Milton. That arms talent is crazy. We'll get to Joe Milton later. But yeah, you just want to make him just run out the picture, right? Now, he's getting up front, up this interior pressure right here, but we're not focusing on that. But overall, good from Phil Mafah. If you're going to get beat, because you see this linebacker, he's setting him up. He's setting him up right here, trying to give him that little right? So he didn't get crossed over and let this inside pass rush move or inside blitz get to the Milton. You want to wash him out the picture, right? Continue to fall through, and he's a non-factor. So good rep from Mafa. Little lungy, but nothing too crazy, right? On this play right here, all right, now he's having a little inside run. Good blocking up front. And like the vision, right? You see this little wiggle right here. Right. Little cat, right? And trying to bounce outside. Now, if I think this is what Bass, if Bass could have probably made some contact on this linebacker, he's a little late with it, right? It probably could have been a bigger run, but still, right? Overall, like I said, I like the low body gravity, right? Low center of gravity. He got those thighs. He's built like a running back. If you're playing Madden or something, you're building a running back. You're probably building a running back like this. Probably put a little horse collar on the back of Phil Mafah, because he definitely has those old school traits. For overall, decent run, right? Wasn't really much there. On this play right here, now we're going to watch him as a wide receiver. So whenever we're watching running backs, and the ball is coming their way from the passing game, we'll turn him into a wide receiver and we start watching those traits, okay? Is he catching away from his body? You probably can't see it, but doesn't catch with his body, right? And now secures it, quickly plants with that right foot, Now he's turning to run. Now we're watching the vision as a ball carrier, which he possesses. There's not really much there, but overall, you just want to watch how quick he can turn and runs. He's not catching with his body, right? So we'll watch that when it comes to running backs. Boom. But at the end of the day, he's still moving forward. He's running with force, right? Running with force. All right. Boom. Right. Now, he could have probably tried to get cute, maybe try to cut back or something like that. But, just run with force. In this play right here, if you are a Mafa maniac, you should be excited about this play right here. This is where his money maker is, y'all. This is just power. There's not much really there, right? You have Fields right here sitting in this hole. You know what? Weight room. This is weight room. I was a 7th round pick. People are sleeping on me. Shoulder pads down, legs moving, chopping forward. He made something out of nothing on this play. He was met right there in the hole, right? This is those old Oklahoma drills. He's met in the hole. Think about where he's met in the hole. He's met in the hole right here, right? Right here is where he's met in the hole. Boom, bang, bang, legs, extra yard, 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 yard. That's the money maker right there. That is where Phil Mafah's claim to fame will be. It's just being a downhill power back, making you feel those body blows and not being denied. I feel like if you're a Mafa maniac, this is the play. Should get you excited. This is the shit you should post on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, wherever you're at, to say, hey, Dallas Cowboys may have got them something. So we'll see how he stacks up. An overall good showing from Phil Mafah in the very first preseason game. Well, if you guys like film sessions, if you like being in the know of what's going on with your Dallas Cowboys, you are in the right spot. We got a lot more players. I'm just getting started. I'm just getting warmed up. So y'all know how we do, especially if you've been subscribed to this channel. We got bangers after bangers after bangers. So turn on that notification bell so you do not miss out. I want everyone to stay safe, stay blessed, stay encouraged, and Phil Mafah, I like what I saw. Keep going. Peace.